Cyber Safe Managed Wi-Fi for a total of $71.95. Order today at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. We're adding new services and expanding our areas for you. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell. AERX, Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your morning.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is driven by Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith and online at rathauto.com. You're rolling with Rath on the Morning Rush.
All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Down to 6. He's dancing. Smith is there. Accelerates. No. Rebound, no tag. That's it. Arkansas is going to the Sweet 16.
You don't know what you have accomplished because you're right on top of it. He should walk with a swagger.
Adu calling for it. He's got it with 5 to shoot. Richmond comes to get it. His jumper. Yes! Billy the Kid with a big bucket.
It's a happy band of Razorbacks.
But the most important game is your very next day.
Look who proved he could still coach. Congratulations there, John.
Why don't we let magic happen? Give it a chance. Go be us. Just be who we are.
This is the Morning Rush.
You know, really, that open is a perfect segue here into What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market. So it's funny, as we're live in San Francisco this morning at the Marriott Marquis Hotel. Colton, it's funny how your friends and family and listeners just think we show up at 9 o'clock and we leave at 11. That's all we do for that. There's a lot of back-end stuff, including imaging, and that's a radio term and other stuff. If you listened yesterday, that's obviously the same open from yesterday. And as someone that has been in your seat many a times, working for in various capacities of radio over the year for the past decade or so, every once in a while you put together this great open and you don't insert it to where it needs to be in the radio software, which is a beef this morning where we start What's Your Beef Wednesday, where you apparently have corked up an incredible open that we'll hear in hour number 2. That's a radio tease.
Yeah, just
make sure you stay with us the entire hour, honestly, for all 2 hours. But it did not make it in this open this morning. And your reaction, like mine, was compiled.
Yeah, you've taught me well. You've taught me well.
Angry. And what Tommy always tells me, Tommy's still on vacation, by the way, in Hawaii. It's myself, Ty Richardson, Colton Little. We're going to talk to Pat Smith here, co-host of a 3-man front, coming up in about 5 minutes. Daryl Hawkins, former Razorback, is going to join us in the second hour. It's the reaction. Like, you mess up, it's fine, but it's also like, at least you care. And I can tell by the words that were said during the break before we came on, you care this morning. So
yeah,
it's I'm laughing, you're angry, but that's okay.
No, I mean I'm thoroughly pissed about it because I mean my job is so easy. You have to sit here and carry this show for 2 hours and do a great job of all that. All I have to do is just put some buttons and drag some files into other files, and I typically get that done. So my beef is with myself. But if Coach Cal was here, he would tell me in a very non-polite way to buck up and shut up and quit my griping and just get on with the show.
Persevere.
So that's what I'm going to do. Persevere.
All right, it is a What's Your Beef Wednesday. Colton's beef is that the file that
I'm
was
my
supposed
beef.
to insert, his beef was not inserted this morning. If you have a beef, you can call or text us here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. What's Your Beef Wednesday? Always brought to you by our friends at Richard's Country Meat Market. Whether you're in Northwest Arkansas or you're in Arkansas, you've probably had Richard's. You've heard about Richard's, and they have it all. Prime rib, pork crown roast, beef, they have everything. You can always give them a call at 479-443-0000. You can visit Richard's at 3042 North Market Avenue in Fayetteville or online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com. Clay always talks about getting steaks. I know many of you have had the greatness that is Richard's Country Meat Market, and they sponsor our What's Your Beef Wednesday every single Wednesday. So my beef, and it's more of like a jokey beef. I'm not actually mad, but I figured it would time out well. So I get to the airport yesterday in Dallas Love Field, drive to Dallas last night, stay with my aunt and uncle, my cousin, and I show up to Love Field, and first off, airport parking is $21 a day. In Little Rock, it was like $8. So it's already a $13 difference, which Tommy's not going to be happy about that on the expense report. His beef will probably be airport charges next week. So I walk in after leaving the lot, and I go up to the checkup counter. And the day before, it wouldn't let me check in, which I thought was odd. And I'm like, Tommy had sent me a confirmation email. He booked the flight when he was on the way to Hawaii. And I didn't look at the dates. So sure enough, I click on this again, and I click on the information. Colton, the dates were booked next Tuesday and the following Sunday. So I'm sitting there in the airport freaking out thinking, I'm not going to get to San Francisco today. Luckily, Southwest had open seats on a flight from Phoenix to San Fran, and so got on this and had no problem getting back or whatever. More of the beef is just sitting around the airport parking, man. $21 a day is ridiculous, and that was the cheapest one. Like, I'm an economy lot guy. I parked – there used to be a peanut lot for those that have been to the Clinton Airport in Little Rock. I think it's done now. It's just the economy lot, and it's $8. Like, $8 isn't great, but it's not bad. But $21 a day to have for the cheapest lot in Love Field, not great. So Tommy's going to be beefing when we get back. Mention we are in San Francisco, California this morning, the site of the Sweet 16 Elite Eight, which Arkansas has made its way to. All of our coverage this week presented by Mock Legal Solutions. Don't go into a divorce or custody or battle alone. Hire Mock Legal to root out the Red Raiders in the courtroom. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price. I'm pumped for the Stadium Shop on Razorback. Robert, Elizabeth, Matt, they got the Sweet 16 shirts in today. So make sure if you haven't, stop by the Stadium Shop. Not only get your Sweet 16 gear, but everything else. It doesn't get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Visit their website, shoponrazorback.com. That's SHOPPE on Razorback.com. We had an opportunity to stay at Big Cypress Lodge in Memphis, Tennessee prior to the Arkansas and Texas Tech game. You're playing them, of course, in the postseason tomorrow. Basketball, you can save 10% right now on your weekday stay at Big Cypress Lodge in Memphis. They're celebrating 10 years with one big deal. Go to big-cypress.com to plan your next Memphis giveaway. And by Ward & Son Plumbing in Northwest Arkansas. Daniel Ward, he's been a listener of ESPN Arkansas for a long time. Him and his son Noah do a fantastic job with your plumbing needs. No marketing shenanigans. Fair pricing and a warranty above and beyond the competition. 479-312-9731. They can do commercial, residential, new construction, additions, and more. That's Ward & Son Plumbing. So there's been a lot of talk this week about the recruiting process going on with college basketball. And Cal's talked about it. Bruce Pearl's talked about it. Nate O. I mean, every coach has had his thoughts. Even Tom Izzo gave an interesting take. What he said was talking about the urinal. Is that what he?
Yes.
Is that what phrase he used?
He used the urinal portal. I mean urinal, and back in he knew what he was doing.
Okay. All right. Well, it is a conversation in addition to the games going on this week, and I wanted to get some insight from a guy that's been around recruiting, the SEC, and stuff a long time. That's our buddy Pat Smith, and he is our opening drive.
I'm still recruiting freshmen. I'll recruit the best freshmen, and as you saw last game, 3 of them played a lot of minutes, but I can't recruit 7 or 8 freshmen. So we got 1 more freshman we're trying to get. We got 3. One that, they're all really good, okay? But we're trying to get 1 more. And then who comes back? And then probably a couple transfers, and that'll be our team.
This is the opening drive presented by First Financial Mortgage in Fort Smith.
Smith is the co-host of 3-Man Front there in Birmingham, Alabama from 10 to 2. Pat, I know you got a busy day. You got your show coming up, so appreciate you making some time for us. You heard Cal there talking about freshmen. He's still going to do it. He's got 3 currently on his signee list for next year. They're still going after Nate and Mint. They'll get some portal players. They'll get some guys back. Can you still win successfully with freshmen and get to a national championship in college basketball, in your opinion, the way the sport is nowadays?
Hey, Ty, it's always good to be on with you. Glad you made it to the left coast. Yeah, I think you can. It's going to be an interesting. What? Did I already say something? Get everybody in trouble? Did I say something?
Oh, that was so. Oh gosh, no, that was
Sorry.
perfect.
Sorry. Yeah, listen. If anybody would know what to do with one and dones and freshmen, it would be Coach Cal. I mean, he wrote the book at Kentucky on how to do that. And so right now, you've got a situation where, let's say Auburn. Let's take Auburn, for example. Auburn is one of the oldest teams in all of college basketball. I think their average age is over 24 years old. I mean, Baker Mazzara, I think, is 25. I'm not lying when I say that. He's 25 years old, and he's got another year of eligibility. So, but one of their top players is Tahad Pettiford, who was an All-American, 5-star. He's very important to what they did against Creighton over the weekend.
20-something against Creighton, right?
Yeah, and then you've got LeBaron Philon, who was the player of the year in the state of Alabama, 5-star, who originally had committed to Auburn, and then he decommitted, and then committed to Kansas, and then decommitted to Kansas, and ended up at Alabama. So I bring those two individuals up because those two guys are very important to what Alabama and Auburn can do in the Sweet 16, because without their success, neither one of those teams would be where they currently are. So to give a long answer to your question, Ty, I do believe that it's still necessary for you to have those freshmen involved in the mix. I mean, Alabama's going to have a huge turnover with a lot of guys like Mark Sears, Amori, Grant Nelson. They will be out the door. And needless to say, Auburn's going to have that same situation with Janai Broome, Cardwell, and a host of other guys that have been there for a minute or two. So, yeah, it's very important to still have that youth, that lifeblood of your program still able to contribute.
All right, couple things, Pat. Arkansas fans hate Chad Baker Mazzara. You said he is officially coming back. I'd seen some stuff on Twitter. I hadn't really checked it out. So he is officially coming back for another year at Auburn, or at least
he is eligible. He can come back. And so, it was interesting because a couple of weeks ago, after his little dust up again, in which he got thrown out of the game, a lot of people said, Auburn fans were like, we're done with him, or whatever the case may be. But listen, Bruce Pearl knows how to manage that team. He knows how to manage Baker Mazzara. And if he believes that that's going to be best for their plans in this next season, then Bruce Pearl will bring him back. There's no question about it. So it's not official, but he does have that capability if Auburn does indeed want him back.
We're talking with Pat Smith, co-host of Three Man Front here on our opening drive, brought to you by First Financial Mortgage. Pat, you mentioned he jokingly called San Francisco the left coast. So apparently, according to locals, it's known as the City, or SF. They say don't call it Frisco. They say don't call it SCO. You can call it the Golden City or the Paris of the West also. So that's what's
Paris of the West.
Paris.
Okay.
Paris of the West is what it's.
Wow.
As I've learned from down here, I'm a little disappointed. I know you like to swipe the company credit card every once in a while. Tommy, my co-host and boss, is not an A club member. He apparently does all the stuff with Hilton, so I don't get the luxury of all the extracurricular stuff like it would be if it was a Hilton property. So I'm just a normal everyday Joe here at the Marriott Marquis.
Well, listen, Ty, I'm just anxious to hear about your experience at the Tenderloin that you told our listeners yesterday in Birmingham that you were looking forward to going to be a part of. So I'm looking forward to watching on social media your experience there in the Paris of the West in Tenderloins.
Should I just hold up a selfie stick and start walking around?
Yes.
And just see what happens live.
Yes.
By the way. Okay.
Yes, and as you're walking there, just step over all the homeless people in the tents. So, good luck with that.
Yeah, that would be an experience. Now, Pat, we talked about. I know you and I have talked about off-air conversation just with the SEC how dominant it's been. 7 teams advanced to the Sweet 16. Now there is a flip side of that. And I know Arkansas has been labeled an underdog. Some people have been labeled as a Cinderella. They're not. They were picked third in the preseason. They've just clawed their way back to maybe where people thought they were beat the second weekend.
Sure.
So is there a flip side to all this in the sense of like college basketball losing a bit of its luster where you don't have any mid-majors or team out of the woodwork? Like, how do you balance the SEC being so dominant, which is good for this league, but also it's like collectively college basketball might be hurting because there's not necessarily a true underdog in this 16?
Well, I think college basketball is about to go through what college football has been going through over the last few years. I think back about 20 years ago, Ty, in the SEC, there were so many programs that were behind the upper echelon in the SEC when it comes to football stadiums for Saturdays, the practice facilities, just the recruiting budgets and all that kind of stuff. And then finally, most of the rest of the SEC decided to catch up with the Floridas and everyone else that was dominating during that time frame. And so then you had an arms race. Well, that's what you're getting now when it comes to college basketball in the SEC, when the SEC decided to start bringing some real blue chip coaches into the league. Listen, let's just be honest. I mean, 20 years ago, and I'm not saying it because I'm on an Arkansas radio show. I mean, I've been covering this league since 1993, and I feel pretty confident when I say this. I mean, when it got to basketball season, it basically was Arkansas and Kentucky. And the rest of the league basically was trying to buy their time. Okay, we're going to get 4 or 5 teams maybe in the NCAA basketball tournament. Either Arkansas, Kentucky's going to make the Sweet 16 or Elite 8 or maybe the Final Four. And then the rest of us will start talking about spring football. That was the general idea of what our calendar looked like. Well, then years ago, the SEC started bringing in coaches like a Rick Barnes coming back from Texas, bringing in Bruce Pearl, what Alabama did by bringing in Nate Oates. And it just, the arms race in college basketball became the equivalent of what it was 20 years ago in the SEC in football. And I don't see this dying. I mean, look what Texas did yesterday with Sean Miller. I mean, you're going to have to win, and you're going to have to win quick. But now, because of NIL, you have the luxury of being able to go out and whatever your fan base or your collective or your school itself they want to spend on a roster, you're more than welcome to do that. So, yeah, it's going to be a shorter window for some of these dudes to be able to put winning teams together on the court and get some banners. But in the long run, I think it's just going to make the SEC even more strong. And unfortunately, the mid-majors are going to be affected the most. Listen, I know it's St. Francis College, but the news coming out yesterday that a team that last week was in the NCAA basketball tournament announces that they're dropping out of Division I. They've got an FCS football program that won a couple conference championships in the last 10 years. They're sending football, basketball, and everybody else down to the Division III level because they can't afford it any longer. And when I say they can't afford it, they can afford to buy the equipment, but because the House settlement coming up next month, you're going to have a lot of mid-majors and a lot of surprises, I think, Ty, of schools deciding this is too rich for us. We just can't do it. So the big boys like the SEC, Big 12, and so on, they're just going to continue to thrive. And I think the days of having all those Cinderellas is going to go by the wayside.
We're talking with Pat Smith, co-host of Three Men Front in Jocks in Birmingham, Alabama this morning. Pat, you kind of talked about the SEC. We're about 16 minutes in, and I have not just buried the lead. I've, thrown it in a coffin, and I actually put the nails in, like Cal's been saying that they haven't put the nails on us. Adu Thero's back. For those that missed it yesterday, Cal went on Pat McAfee and said he's available. 12 to 15 minutes, kind of what he's thinking. We'll see if it goes beyond that. How big of a bolster is that for this Arkansas basketball team heading into tomorrow night?
Oh, I think it's huge because of what happened when Boogie came back, right? I mean, I don't need to tell you guys. I mean, what a difference that was. I mean, wasn't Boogie only supposed to play, 12, 15 minutes, something like that, and then he ended up playing as much as he possibly could. So, no, I think it's huge for Arkansas. Listen, you were on our show about mid-season because when they started off 0-5, we all of a sudden we were like, oh my God, what's going on? We had to have a check on Ty to make sure nothing bad had happened. And you were very honest with us. Said, look, the biggest issue with this team, the roster is there. It's just the fact that they got a lot of guys that are out, and you can't put on the floor the team that you thought you were going to have. Well, as the season has progressed, and as this team has gotten healthy, once again, not pumping sunshine because I'm on your show, Ty, but, I mean, Arkansas is the team right now that I would not want to play if I was anybody in the NCAA tournament. They've got the momentum, they got the confidence, and they're getting their players healthy and getting back on the floor. I think that's huge for Arkansas, no doubt.
Pat, let me let you go with this. I think a lot of Arkansas fans' opinions have changed about John Calipari, not just Ellen, Megan, Aaron, Brad, their whole family. But I think the biggest misconception I had initially about Cal is, well, he's only doing with the best players. Well, I think this season of the show he actually, can coach outside of just having the best talent. Like some guys just bring in the best talent and they'll let the talent work. I think Cal's, again, in 2024, 2025, it's like, well, this season, especially the back half, Well, when we figured out with a lot of things going against her, what do you think the biggest misconception of Cal was, and how has that maybe changed throughout the end of this season?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's interesting because I see what Cal doing this year where everything did not come easy to him. He kind of got back to his roots back when he was back at UMass, in which, he's a basketball coach. He's an X's and O's guy. It reminds me of the last couple years Nick Saban in Tuscaloosa. And hear me out when I use this comparison. Nothing was easy in Tuscaloosa. You can say whatever you want to. Well, Alabama had 27 5-stars on the roster. They had this, they had that. I'm telling you, the best job Nick Saban did in his whole 17 years in Tuscaloosa of coaching that football team came in the last 2 years of his tenure in Tuscaloosa. And the reason why is because the days of being able to corner talent, being able to just roll the football out there and your roster would dominate and all that kind of good stuff, he had to go back to the original concept of being able to out-coach people, not out-talent people, but out-coach people. I see what Coach Cal has done this year at Arkansas, and it reminds me once again of what he did back in the old days in Amherst when he was with the Minutemen. Almost the same thing that happened with Nick Saban the last couple of years in Tuscaloosa. As the playing field leveled out, all of a sudden these guys, we all forget that they're really good coaches, really good X's and O's guys, not just good recruiters. And I think you're seeing that with Coach Cal.
Pat, that's a good way to end it. We'll leave it there, and we'll see if we're both heading to San Antonio next week for the Final Four, whether it's Auburn, Alabama, or Arkansas. Thanks so much, man.
Hey, listen, enjoy San Francisco, the Paris of the West.
Yeah, the Paris of the West, the left of the West, San Fran. Don't call it Frisco, according to the locals. See you, buddy.
See ya.
All right, that's again Pat Smith, co-host of Three Man Front on WJOX in Birmingham, Alabama. He is our opening drive this morning. Pat always does a great job. He has great wealth of knowledge. It was Paul Feinbaum's right-hand man for a number of years. That brought to you by First Financial Mortgage. Ethan Adamson, I just saw, got his, I think, 313th five-star review. No, it was actually 320th. I apologize. 320th five-star review on on Google today. So, Ethan, when it comes to the mortgage process, he can help you out. He's been with the company over 10 years. Give him a call, 479-782-9300, or go online to ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender. We've got our hog update coming up in just a bit. We're live from San Francisco this morning, kind of give you more updates on the ground here as we continue on. And we've got our Fence Man Friday picks coming up this week as we get ready, hopefully, to pick an Arkansas Elite Eight game against either the Florida Gators or the Maryland Terrapins. Speaking of good jobs, Sean the Fence Man does a great job. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. He does residential. He does commercial. He does it all when it involves fencing. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936. Hog update on the way.
We're live in San Francisco this week at the NCAA tournament. Our coverage is presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price. By Big Cypress Lodge. Visit big-cypress.com to plan your next Memphis getaway. By Ward & Son Plumbing in Northwest Arkansas, serving all your plumbing needs. No marketing shenanigans, fair pricing with a warranty above and beyond the competition throughout Arkansas.
Arkansas is headed to the Sweet 16.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Hunting for a fortune? X marks the cash. 5 new lottery scratchers are loaded with prizes and waiting to be discovered. Multiply your prize 10, 50, up to 200 times. Ticket prices range from $1 to $20. Top prizes start at $5 grand and go all the way to $500,000. Find the X and find the cash. Available now at lottery retailers. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
You're smarter than me. Where's the disconnect?
What was that? My headphones cut out. What?
Delete the sour cold.
This is the Morning Rush.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas. More than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
In every generation, there are those who question the status quo. Questions like, why can't chicken be slow roasted? Why can't I have shredded purple cabbage? Why can't my quesadilla have cheese inside and out? And where's my avocado verde salsa? The new era of chicken is here to stay. The Cantina Chicken Menu. Only at Taco Bell.
It's back, the Ultimate Challenge at Lewis Automotive, and it's bigger than ever.
We're on a mission to sell 555 vehicles in the month of March, no matter what it takes. We've got more than 1,000 vehicles to choose from, more than $2 million in discounts, and we're not holding anything back. All month long, get up to $20,000 off MSRP or 0% financing on select models.
Payments start at $199 a month.
Find the ultimate selection, the ultimate discounts, the ultimate financing, and the ultimate amount for your trade.
Only at the Lewis Automotive Group's Ultimate Challenge.
5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Go to Jim Pond.
Save up to $5,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Come on, Pitt.
There's only one Razorback. Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks. belongs to the Razorbacks.
Ball's on the ground, picked up by Colin. Alex has got room.
A great day again for the Fighting Razorbacks. Everybody, we'll pick through it.
Huge win for the Razorbacks.
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Got one on the Pat McAfee show yesterday and said this.
Adu Fierro is available.
All right, that's the biggest news that has come out when it concerns the Arkansas basketball program this week. Now, he expanded on, hey, well, what does that look like for Adu Fierro?
I played Boogie, who was available, 15, 18 minutes, but he helped us win the game.
Huge.
He made the steal. He made the plays. He made the assists. Now, Adu, it's a different deal because we need his toughness and his athleticism. The most he'll play, 12 minutes, maybe 15, maybe, I doubt. But you got to prepare now because we're a different team. Finally, we got a full roster.
So the end there is important. Now Grant McCaskill, Texas Tech head coach, has to worry about something else that he hasn't seen in several games with the Adu Fierro. So he's getting Boogie back into the fold of the game plan. I know Cal talked about that. He wanted to watch a little tape of Texas Tech where they were hitting everything. And he's like, turn this off. I don't want to watch this anymore, which was funny. But also, like, that's something that Tech now has to account for. I don't know if they'll zone Arkansas. I know that Cal has called a zone buster, but not just another front court player. You've just been rotating three with Trevin, with Jonas, and then also Big Z. But now you got 5 more fouls, and you got a guy that can score just kind of depending on how his knee comes back.
And not only that, Adu has been one of your most versatile defenders the entire season long. He's been a guy that's had to bang down there and play the 4 position and sometimes even guard the opposing team center. And also he's long and agile enough to guard, most players on the perimeter and stay in front of most guards. So you're getting a really great defender as well as a guy that's going to be able to go up there and help secure rebounds, which has been a big part of the reason why this team has been able to, stay in these games and clutch tournament situations is they've been rebounding the ball a lot better collectively as a unit, and that's one thing that Adu's been really good at this season as well. So hopefully his knee is good enough to sky up there and grab him.
I also learned this yesterday listening to that interview. Do you know Cal is 12-3 in Sweet 16 games? Listen to that. 12-3.
That's a pretty good record.
It's a pretty good record. I think a lot of Arkansas fans have confidence. When we were on our flight to Phoenix yesterday, Colton and I was sitting next to a Texas Tech fan, and she's from Midland. She did not have a lot of confidence in Arkansas, in her Red Raiders winning against Arkansas Thursday night. So I thought that was an interesting dynamic compared to the St. John's fans that thought that it was going to be a runaway. So we'll have to wait and see. Baseball team ended up losing yesterday. First time midweek. They had their 18-game midweek snap. They also lost for the first time in Baum Walker this season, 13-8 in the ninth, and unfortunately they let it slip away, lose up 14-13 extras. It's midweek. I know people were angry last night. I was getting texts, and I just said it's a midweek game, and it is a rivalry. Missouri State's like a regional rival, and this is a fun back and forth between the Bears and the Hogs.
It is, and it's not like this is some throwaway school that never had anything going for them in terms of a baseball sense. This is a baseball program that you've seen multiple times, not only just in the NCAA tournament, but come in and give you really quality midweek games. There's a reason why Dave Van Horn schedules them very, very frequently, and it's because they can come in here and do this to Arkansas really on any given season, and that's what you want out of your midweek opponents. You don't want them to just be a big, laughing stock. I know Tony Vitello and Tennessee were having issues. They're saying, no, we're not going to play just 7 innings when we run rule. We want to get the full 9. So getting a full 9 was good for them, and it's going to take a lot of growth from this pitching staff, this bullpen, which I thought was going to be a strength of this team, and it definitely still is. But a little bit of just a growth opportunity for the guys out of the pen for the Hawks.
All right, that is your Hog Update this morning, brought to you by our friends as we're live in San Francisco at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, B in Clarksville texting in. He doesn't know how he's going to handle this 9+ p.m. tip tomorrow night for those on work. Now, I ask questions like, what are you going to do for your kiddos? I think about restaurant owners and everything else. This is just not typical. Now, Cal got asked about it, And it was like, because again, it's 7:09 local time here, so it's not like it's a late game here.
It's not late. We're in San Francisco. So for us, it's anybody watching on the East Coast, you're gonna have to stay up. But for us, it's fine.
Yeah, this is not a situation that Arkansas fans on the Eastern Coast, which I know there's some, are probably too fond of. But that's the cards you were given. We'll see how the team handles them. Hey, great place to watch Arkansas games. Always Joe's Grill and Cantina. And tonight they've got your chance to take the kids to Joe's Grill and Cantina for karaoke. You'll get a delicious meal for $5. There's a crayons for coloring contest where the kiddos can win cool prizes. And again, it is kids karaoke night, so let the kids' stars shine. Join Joe's Grill and Cantina for kids fun every single Wednesday night in a fun atmosphere. Come for the foods, stay for the fun at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Parts. What karaoke song, Colton, would you see?
I'd probably try and throw a little curveball. Definitely had to go with the female country artist so I can get up there in that upper register and really wow the crowd.
Okay.
Probably some Leanne Rhymes.
There you go. It's a What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market, the best steaks in all of Arkansas. When we return, we got our Morning Rush Daily Question live from San Francisco.
What's Your Beef Wednesday is brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. Online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Designed by Jason Christie, the Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates. Choose from 3 blade options: Colorado for maximum thump, Willow for bright flash, and the one the pros won't talk about, the Oklahoma blade. Perfectly balanced for subtle vibration, multiple flash points, and unmatched versatility. The Oklahoma blade is your secret weapon for pressured waters. Precision engineering, tournament proven, and one mission: dominate. Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait, here for one thing.
On a cattle ranch, calves aren't only raised by their mother, they're raised by a community of farmers, ranchers, and veterinarians committed to giving them the healthiest, most comfortable life possible. Because for cattle farmers, ranchers, and the moms of those baby calves, animal welfare is the top priority. Together, we bring more. Beef. It's what's for dinner. Funded by beef farmers and ranchers. This message courtesy of the Arkansas Beef Council and Beef. It's what'sfordinner.com.
Hey, Kraft Inc., I want to hang out with you and learn.
There you go. Our seminars are held weekly on Wednesday nights at the Golden Corral.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. This is the best time of year to save on a great selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus, act now and take advantage of $1,000 cash your way on select inventory for even more savings. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook for fun-free contests and money-saving specials. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources in the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Hey, Todd Richardson at my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue. And Cricket, we always talk about specials.
We do have awesome lunch specials Monday through Friday. We've got any small pizza for $7.99. You can also order a salad with it. Great In-N-Out special for a quick lunch.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Cricket, what do you think about Papa's Pub and Pizzeria?
I think it's the best darn pizza in Fort Smith and perhaps the world.
I want to ride my
Looking for a new ride or need a tune-up? Champion Cycling in Fort Smith has you covered. From top-of-the-line bikes like Specialized and Surly to expert repairs, apparel, and accessories, we've got everything you need to hit the trails. Stop by 5500 Mazard Road during business hours or shop anytime online at championscycling.com. Champion Cycling, helping you share in the joy of cycling.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
COP CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
Taco Bell's new caliente sauce made with red jalapenos is the spicy side of Cantina chicken. But does that mean everything has a spicy side? Like your cactus plant. It's like your other plants, but spicy. Or your coworker who says they hate everyone who works here, but you work here. Or when you say, I don't mean to be rude, but you do mean to be rude. But now you can feed your spicy side with Caliente Cantina chicken from Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
It's Markdown Madness at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw. Take a test drive, shoot a hoop, get up to $500 on your way to saving up to $15,000 off on select units.
Yes, you know, the 2024 Ford F-150, #1 selling truck for over 40 years. And right now you can come down to Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford and you can pick up a new 24 and save up to $15,000 off. And hey, we've got our test drive. Go on a test drive. You get a chance. You see that giant basketball goal setting up there. You can win up to $500 cash.
All you got to do is take a test drive.
All you got to do is go on a test drive. You get a shot. You make it. You can win up to $500 cash.
Huge savings right now. Markdown Madness. And again, up to $15,000 off on Ford F-150s. Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw. And shop online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nathan Christian's place in Lowell online at carpathsocial.com.
A dude wanted to play. Only reason he's playing is he said, I'm playing.
That was John Calipari on the Pat McAfee show yesterday talking about Adu Theodore, who, if you haven't heard, is available tomorrow night against the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Our Morning Rush Daily Question brought to you by CarPass Social. What are you expecting from Adu Theodore tomorrow night? Call or text us here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. I'm in San Francisco. Colton's back in Radio HQ. Colton, we'll start with you. What are you expecting from Adu Theodore tomorrow night?
I'm expecting the same thing I've expected from him all season, probably just in a limited number of minutes. I don't imagine they'd put him out there if he wasn't ready to go from the jump. I know they're probably going to take it a little bit slow, maybe with his minutes from the beginning. I expect Boogie to be back full, ready to go with the, probably 25, 30 minutes this game if he needs to. So I would say that they're probably going to have the same level of, expectation for Thiero as well. And what he's brought all season is literally just crazy energy. Up and down the court, all 94 feet the entire night, every minute that he's out there. It's playing above the rim. It's grabbing rebounds, dunking on guys, and then being a vocal leader as well. He's got such emotion that he plays with that everybody on the team sort of rallies around him when he's having a good game. So hopefully the team kind of stays within themselves and nobody tries to force too much. I don't think that it's the same thing with Boogie coming in because they kind of had to lean on Adu more all year. So he's been the team's leading scorer, and I'm really thinking that he's just going to come in and do the same thing he's done all year, which is just that crazy energy all up and down the court all night long. That's what I'm expecting from him.
I think for Thiero, I know offensively that's where everyone looks to first, and that was what I was wondering about Boogie. But Boogie didn't shoot that well last weekend in Providence, Rhode Island. But defensively and just plays when it counted, that steal at the end of the game was important. So I think for me, it's just like a defense and that rebounding kind of tenacity he brought up. I'm not really worried about his scoring right now. He's got to get his legs back under him. I really enjoyed listening to Mac Jones on halftime break this down, just discussing like how different a thumb injury is from getting back with your knees and everything else. Conditioning is way different. I mean, I've torn my ACL. I can tell you, as someone that's gone through that, and then something just like an upper body, like with your thumb or your finger or something, it's way different because it affects your body in a lot of different ways. So good on him for wanting to come back and help this basketball team. And I don't think so. From what I've understood in the last week or so, and really the last 2 weeks, since there was a debate of if Boogie comes back, if Adu comes back, no Arkansas fan seems to be pushing back on Adu Thero helping this team. It was more about Boogie because the dynamic was as soon as he went out, they started winning. So I understand why Arkansas fans, to a certain extent, were, how's this going to work chemistry-wise? Boogie didn't come in and shoot 25 shots in either of those games. In fact, he was very passive. I don't know, passive's too aggressive a word, but he wasn't necessarily.
He was conservative, Todd.
Yeah,
he wasn't.
That's probably the better word. Conservative.
He wasn't doing what he had done in the beginning of the season, which was constantly hunting for his shot whenever the first or second option didn't work.
The ball has moved a lot better. I think he realizes that. And the other thing, it's like, at the end of the day, most of these kids just want to win. And so I'll go back. The strongest statement of anything that's been said in the last month is Billy Richmond talking about them sacrificing their egos.
Yeah.
Every one of those kids has an ego. I have an ego. You have an ego. We all have egos. But for them to be where they are, if there wasn't some give and take, I wouldn't be in San Francisco, California with this basketball team at all. So encouraging to see what they've done. What are you expecting from Adu Thero tomorrow night? That is our Cart Pass Social Morning Rush daily question. Number one indoor destination for golf in all of Arkansas. We've been telling you about the Masters Invitational, where guys and gals are competing every single week at Cart Path, playing Augusta National. And check that out at cartpasssocial.com. Always BYOB at Cart Pass Social. You don't have to wear golf attire. You can come as you are. 479-487-3622. 122 Grant Place in Lowell. The best, and I mean the best, indoor golf facility in all of Arkansas. So my morning routine was thrown off a little bit this morning, but I still made sure to listen to the Hit That Line Now app, powered by Taco Bell. So listen to a little Chuck and Bo this morning, get to listen to halftime in a little bit, and also go Ruskin and Zach later on. Remember, whether you're in San Francisco, California, like we are this morning, or, I mean, if you're in Japan, you can be all over the United States, you can be outside the country, you can always listen to Chuck and Bo, Morning Rush, halftime, Ruskin and Zach, all on the Hit That Line Now app, powered by Taco Bell. And if you got a spicy side, Taco Bell has the menu to match. Their new Caliente sauce is made with red jalapenos and a side of Cantina chicken. Try it today at Taco Bell. All right, let's get to some text here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. JB in Springdale jokingly texting in, saying that he's expecting a quadruple double.
He said quadruple triple, which is
quadruple triple.
God, that's like when you play video games against your younger brother and you run the score up. Quadruple triple.
Yeah, I don't think we're necessarily going to do that. Jesse from Springdale asking a question: can we shut down Toppin like we have done the last two starts? That is an underrated thing. So you think about the last two games. Hunter Dickinson got dominated by Jonas Adu in game one, and then you go to the next game with Kadari Richmond and R.J. Lewis. Lewis finished, I think, 3 of 17. I think Richmond had an okay game, but he was in foul trouble the majority of the time, ends up fouling out. Your Richmond outside their Richmond and Billy the Kid. So that is Jesse, that's a good question. Now you've got, I'm blanking on this kid's name. Is it McMillan? Colton, their kid, the guy that is debatable. I think it's Chance McMillan.
I think so. I think that sounds right.
I think it's that's the guy's name that is debatable. I should know this, but the kid's status is up in the air tomorrow night. Yeah, it should be Chance McMillan for Texas Tech. He's one of the better players that you'll see. JT Toppin, again, has been fantastic for the Red Raiders. Had 25 and I think 11 in his last game. So keep an eye. We're going to get a chance to talk with McCaslin later on today. Also, John Calipari, which, by the way, we'll get some audio and some practice stuff up for you later on. So at 1:50 local time, so 3:50 Central, we'll hear from John Calipari. Might have some quotes later on in Ruskin and Zach, and then we'll also get to hear from Arkansas student athletes. That is the practice schedule today. We'll even get to watch them for, I think, 15 minutes of practice later on.
Yeah, that'll be good to be able to good to see how Thero looks in person, kind of how they're putting him through the drills and everything like that. That'll be really, really interesting. And in terms of top and tie, one of the things that I think, like you said, that has been undersold from this tournament, we have shut down their best player. Dickinson really didn't do much. He's lazy and should have, signed up for LinkedIn a long time ago, same as Baker Mazara, the guy from Auburn. But those guys, and then the guy from St. John's, Richmond, and R.J. Lewis, they all had really bad games, and that's not just a fluke. It's not a coincidence. The defensive pressure from the Arkansas Razorbacks has been outstanding the entirety of this tournament, and a lot of that has to do with getting the guys back. But if you look at it, I know that Steve, whatever his name was, that Clay had an issue with, that did the broadcast. Lapis, that did the broadcast. He brought it up several times in both games in Providence. Their length, how long they are on the wings, and their ability to sub guys in and out that have the same amount of length. Subbing in 6'7" for 6'7" on the wing. It's a big impact, and I think that Texas Tech has struggled this year a few times, sparingly, but when they have, it's been against teams that have been a little bit longer, which allows more pressure on defense. So it'll be a barn burner, that's for sure. I'm excited.
Speaking of struggling, I know a lot of you guys and gals have struggled with your brackets thus far. Luckily, ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, we're here for you. We are here for you as a team. Go to our hitthatline.com website, and you can go to the bracket challenge. You'll see bracket contests either on your mobile on the left side, or if you're on the desktop, it'll be on the front. Sign up at hitthatline.com/bracket for the Sweet 16. We still got a bunch of great prizes as well. It's brought to you by Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley, Moix RV of Arkansas, 810 Billiards and Bowling in Fort Smith, and Heartland Honda of Northwest Arkansas. Just go to, again, hitthatline.com. Sign up for the Sweet 16 Bracket Challenge. It's also brought to you in part by Foghorn Sweens. Sign up today at hitthatline.com. So if you need something to get ready for the Sweet 16 this weekend, this is courtesy of Blaine Howard, who is an Arkansas fan. Listen to the Sweet 16 song that he has come up with.
Headed west to San Francisco, only 16 teams remain. Seems this year's Cinderella comes from the natural state. First we beat the Jayhawks and Big East champs. Pick against us all you want. This team don't give a damn. Arkansas, that's the place I'd rather be. Now we take on Texas Tech in the Sweet 16. Arkansas, some folks might call us small. We can play some ball and give the Hogs a call, and I'm proud to say I'm Arkansas, y'all. Woo, pig, soy.
Genius.
Well done, Mr. Blaine Howard. That was really good. I will say this, Muss always used the chip on the shoulder dynamic, and I know that Cal has coined the phrase underdog. ESPN just put out a story recently that has Arkansas, as of the 16 teams, no surprise, as the 16th largest shot to make and win the national championship. So I hope we keep seeing stuff like this. Our buddy Connor O'Gara ranked it as the hardest SEC team to make its way to the national championship. Muss did this very openly. I wonder how Cal goes about this, just leading up his team for, again, guys that aren't necessarily used to be in this situation. They're blue chippers for a good chunk, but are highly recruited and highly coveted transfer players. So they bought in on this dynamic, and you wanted to continue on as they continue on here in the NCAA tournament. Hey, this morning we are brought to you by Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental. At the entrance of Riley Farms, they provide every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nuys work to give all their patients better lives and a better smile. Visit Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Farm Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farm, now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for appointment, or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio, and you'll get $300 off a snore guard. Colton, do you snore? Does Gabby tell you snore?
No, I'm not a big snorer. I do occasionally mumble.
That's good.
I do mumble a lot in my sleep, but no snoring. I keep a good clean passageway. Oh, it's usually, stats or games or old, TikToks or Vines that run through my head. Show stuff, Ty. Show stuff. Always.
All right, we got a great text from BJ saying, I think we're under hogs. When's that trademark going to start? Not
That's
underdogs.
good.
We are under hogs. I appreciate that text, BJ, here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. It is a What's Your Beef Wednesday. If you've got a beef this morning, jump in here, 877-377-6963. Jeremy's beef, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market, is the fact that we have this late game time again. Man, I got to get up at 4 a.m., and that sucks. Well, hopefully you'll be able to make it through all of tomorrow night. Richard's Country Meat Market, the perfect place for a classic shrimp boil. They have everything you need. Come on by and see them or call them at 479-443-0000.
An outdoor party April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because our Kansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Decisions aren't hard when no matter what you choose, you win. Like with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. Choose from the $5 classic box with iconic favorites like a beefy 5-layer burrito, the $7 Supreme box with the chicken chalupa Supreme and more. Or find new obsessions in the $9 Discovery box. Get yours at Taco Bell today. Participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. This is the best time of year to save on a great selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus, act now and take advantage of $1,000 cash your way on select inventory for even more savings. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook for fun-free contests and money-saving specials. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources in the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jammart. Jammart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. Jammart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero Jammart locations. And stop by any of the 6 Jammart locations in the area. Jammart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
Are you an angler Having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Wits Marine. On North 11th Street is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle. Also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Dial Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle. 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith. 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Wits Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Forsgren is hiring immediately. Forsgren Incorporated, a heritage company and premier employer, is now hiring equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Have experience in any of these areas? Apply now at goforsgren.com. Don't delay. Forsgren is hiring now at goforsgren.com. Don't miss your opportunity to join the Forsgren legacy. Forsgren has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Apply now at goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Save up to $5,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we should see ample sunshine, only a slight chance of a shower early across the south. High temperatures will be right around the middle 70s today. Slight chance of a shower or two tonight. Overnight low will drop down in the low 50s. And then Thursday, looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies, highs in the low 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Cop CDL Academy. Call them today at 479-632-1050. Cop CDL Academy, expanding horizons.
You're listening to the Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3. KERX Paris Fort Smith.
Don't touch my beef jerky now. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
Hey, old man, give me everything.
John Rothstein, CBS Sports, was the first to report that Boogie Fland, Arkansas's starting point guard, he has a hand injury. He is out for the year.
My concern is that it's I don't know why I talked myself into this idea that John Calipari was going to do something different.
And a official's timeout as Thero slow to walk to the bench for Arkansas, as they're going to have to check on his health.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me.
I'm too strong. They couldn't hold me down there.
Flashing for a steal, Thero to the other end with a left hand. How about that? A two Thero.
And Thero at the stripe, Jimmy, 6 of 7 this evening. I would say that he is Arkansas's toughest kid, and that's who you want on the free throw line trying to close things out. Short on the second, he'll get it back.
This is the Morning Rush.
1 day out from the Sweet 16. Welcome in, Morning Rush Hour 2, Colton Little, Ty Richardson. So if you've been with us the entire time, you can understand why Colton was so angry in the first hour when that open didn't get loaded in here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market. Hey, if you're looking for that classic Southern shrimp boil, Richard's Country Meat Market has everything you need. We're talking tender shrimp, 16 to 20, 31 to 35 count, plus potatoes, sausage, corn. It's all ready to go. Don't forget the seasoning. Whether you like it mild or spicy, it has that perfect blend for that bold Cajun flavor. Richard's has that fresh seafood, salmon, cod, and more, plus the best tips of top choice and prime meats around, Petit Jean hams and house-made seasonings. They make it easy with in-store and curbside pickup. Just call 479-443-0000. Place your order or just swing by 1 block east of College and Rolling Hill Drives in Fayetteville. Well done, Mr. Little. Another great open once again.
Thank you.
You got it, something going in my loins. But that is like, okay. And I think it's so funny to listen to people backtrack with John Calipari. And I will raise my hand as high as humanly possible and say I didn't think there was any chance that Arkansas was going to wind up in the NCAA tournament starting 1-6 after that loss to the Oklahoma Sooners. I'm so happy to be wrong. It is funny, though, when people are like, yeah, I knew who was going to get this done. And it's like, you literally just said, as you played some of those clips from Doster and I think there was a John Rothstein clip and others and where they are now. But now you've got your full complement of roster. Cal was talking about that yesterday on the Pac McAfee show. If you haven't heard.
Adu Fierro is available.
He's available, right? You got 9 guys heading into the most important part of your season, which is the Sweet 16, which, by the way, Cal was 12-3 in, which I had no idea. Learned that yesterday, listening to that conversation. So good news. Hey, we're in San Francisco, California this morning, getting ready for this game tomorrow night in the Chase Center. We'll have your post-game coverage as well. The Stadium Shop on Razorback has been sponsoring our post-game coverage and really our pre-game coverage for a lot of football season, basketball season. They're still with us on our journey as we're in San Francisco this week. Locally owned and operated, big news. Robert Elizabeth Matthew, they've got the Sweet 16 apparel. So if you haven't gotten the gear that you need for tomorrow night or this weekend, stop by and see them at the Stadium Shop on Razorback. We had a chance to hang out at the Big Cypress Lodge in Memphis, Tennessee. Let me tell you something. That place is incredible. I had never stepped foot into the pyramid until that day. You can hang out at the Big Cypress Lodge inside of the iconic Bass Pro Shops pyramid. Visit big-cypress.com to plan your next Memphis giveaway. It's 10% off your weekday stay because they've been around 10 years in Memphis. So go check that out. Ward and Son Plumbing in Northwest Arkansas. Daniel and Noah Ward, huge Arkansas fans. You can call them at 479-312-9731 for pricing and quotes. They're no nonsense. They can help you with remodels, repairs, additions, construction, commercial, residential, and more. And by our friends, Jackie and Submit Head Mock at Mock Legal Solutions in Fort Smith. Listen, when you go to child custody or divorce, you want someone that knows what they're doing. Jackie does, so they offer low flat fees and payment plans, so you know what you owe. 479-769-1505 or fill out a free consultation form at mocklegalsolutions.com. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price. If we go to the Bet Saracen app right now, where do you think the line has shifted? Colton, after Adu Fierro has been announced that it has come back. We're just off the guess. If it was 5.5, where do you think it's at now?
Closer to 3, closer to 2, I'd say.
It's not
the same?
It's the exact same. I'm surprised by that. Is anyone else a little surprised that and maybe that just goes to show you that Vegas and people know about this before it actually happens and before it comes public, which Cal made it public yesterday across ESPN and everything else. But, yeah, Texas Tech's still a 5.5-point favorite. You're an underdog. Again, maybe that's good. He's talked about wanting to be or being an underdog, and that's the identity of this basketball team right now. So I personally think that's a good thing. But, Colton, I'm a little surprised, just to be blunt about that.
Yeah, you would figure that a team getting their leading scorer back would definitely just affect the book, just from a statistics point of view. I mean, more points come back, more points on game, more points total. I don't pretend to know anything about gambling or bookmaking. I don't do it. I'm not very good. But you would think that getting that, one of the best players on the team back would definitely make things a little bit closer from that standpoint. But let them doubt, Ty. Let them do what they've been doing all year long. This team needs that chip on their shoulder. Let them say we won't win. Let them say it won't make a difference. I think it will.
Well, I hate to get you more fired up than you already are for this game tomorrow night. We might as well just raise the roof off this place. Eddie in Clarksville has called into the Morning Rush here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Eddie, what do you have for us on this beautiful Wednesday morning?
I tell you what, it is a beautiful day, but I tell you what's going to be more beautiful? It's tomorrow night inside the Chase Center. I rose early, gentlemen, this morning. I'm starting to feel it right now. It's running from the bottom of my feet to the top of my head. Let me say this. We have a long, rich, number one tradition, a legacy of winning big games. And we just won 2 back in Providence, Rhode Island. When we left Amica Mutual Pavilion, we left a little sugar on the court, and we fed the recipe to Kansas and St. John. By the way, there wasn't a media in the country, it's always talking about how Kansas was going to beat us, how no way we could beat St. John's supposedly the best defensive team in the country. Well, we play defense too, baby. And now I'm hearing, no way we can beat underdogs against Texas Tech. And by the way, this is not the first Sweet 16. And come tomorrow night, woo, we're punching our ticket to the Elite Eight. How about that, gentlemen?
How about that? Eddie, what about the fact that you could beat Texas Tech in back-to-back postseason games? You beat them in Memphis, and now you can beat them in this game tomorrow night as well.
I tell you what, how great is that for this fan base? Certainly I've been blessed. I've said this before, gentlemen. There's a recipe for everything in life. Homemade apple pie. I tell you what, my grandfather used to make homemade muscadine wine. He'd go pick them grapes and make his homemade recipe. I tell you this, there's a recipe for home basketball tonight. And we're going to feed the Red Raiders a little bowl of it tomorrow night and put your ticket to the Elite Eight. Send it to them. Because I tell you this, if you want to know, this team has, how about this team? And I've seen them all play from 1960. You talk about the triplets. You talk about Scotty Thurman and Corliss Williamson, Todd Daly, Mayberry. Great players that have come through our program. I love this team. This team has, for most of the year, undermanned. I tell you, in the toughest conference in America, one of the toughest schedules in America has prepared us for this moment tomorrow night in the Chase Center. So, fan base, get ready for the recipe. Are you ready? Can you smell it? Because it's simmering right now, baby.
Love it. Love it. Eddie in Clarksville, appreciate your call. If you want to jump in with us here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, do so at 877-377-6963. Usually, our buddy Richard Davenport is on with us here at 10 o'clock on Wednesday. He is on vacation this week, so we're letting him relax and has fun with his misses. But I do want to tell you, one of the things Richard always tells you about and loves, and he is a spokesman for, is our buddies over at the House of Webster. And if you haven't had the locally owned, family owned for 90 years right here in Rogers, Arkansas, you need to check out their jams, their jellies, their salsas. I'm telling you, I eat the strawberry preserves out of the jar. I always used to see my dad do that with cherry stuff, cherry filling. I was like, that's weird. And then I tried this for the first time, and not only is it the best strawberry preserves I ever had, but I understand why my father does it. If you have something that's good, you'll do it. So take advantage. Richard's been eating on that Carolina Reaper salsa. They've got cinnamon apple putter. They've got they've got so many great jams and everything else. HouseofWebster.com. I text my buddies over at Rogers, and I was like, hey, House of Webster was partnering with us, and these are kids that have grown up in Rogers, and they all know about it, so they were excited. But a lot of Arkansans don't know that we have this awesome place right here in our own backyard. HouseofWebster.com. Check out all their jams, jellies, salsas. 90 years right here in Rogers, Arkansas. Go to some text here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. A good one for talking about someone in Rogers with House of Webster. Mr. Peak's listening this morning, Rogers. I wonder how many teams have started their conference season 0-5 to come back and make the Sweet 16. I'd have to go back and look and see where Muss's team started. You look at those squads, they didn't have hot starts in conference play, and they turned it on. I don't remember them going 0-5. I want to say like 1-3 or 0-4 was the highest. Either way, I mean, it was an accomplishment for what they were able to do. And now you're on the brink. And I think when, we talk about this season, Mr. Peak, this is already, to me, it's a good season because where you are in the postseason. I mean, a Sweet 16 is a good year. I don't think anyone has anything to question of that. Now, it has a chance to be a great year if you win this game tomorrow night, and maybe you win on Saturday, too. No one cares about the regular season. It's what you do now. That's why people call things great. To me, the second to last year in a Muss, the last NCAA tournament year was a good season. And because they beat Kansas and moved on to the Sweet 16, even though they were up and down with the injuries and the freshmen and everything else. That was a good year. This Arkansas basketball team, when you look at the regular season success that some of these teams have had under Coach Richardson and Coach Sutton, they were good throughout and then ended up being good years. But to me, it's a good year just because of where you are regular or postseason wise with this Arkansas basketball squad. And it's like you're playing a Southwest Conference team again. Like you got more in the league now with Texas and Texas A&M. You played Baylor earlier this year. Colton, you and I aren't as necessarily as knowledgeable about South. And I had to look, like, I legitimately don't know a lot of Texas Tech basketball history because there isn't a ton. But they've been a really good program under the last few years with Chris Beard, now McCaskill, I think Mark Davis, who's now with Beard at Ole Miss. I believe that's his name. I can't remember 100%. Was also sprinkled in there. This is a really good basketball program you're going up against tomorrow night, and Cal's treating it as such.
Yeah, it seems to be they've found themselves in the second weekend of the tournament, kind of around ever since what you mentioned that time when we met up with them the first time during our first initial tournament
national
run.
Championship.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I really think that, once you get one good coach and a lot of that, a second good coach is shortly going to follow, hopefully. It's been like that in our case multiple times here at the University of Arkansas. We've been very thankful for that. But I really don't know that Texas Tech is as big of a brand name as maybe as other teams that we've played already in terms of Kansas and St. John's, obviously not. But this is going to be the best team by far. They have the best players, and it's not going to be any type of, I know you mentioned it earlier. Coach Cal was watching the game and watching the highlights of them literally just stroking the net. I mean, not missing in some of their games earlier this season, and he said to turn it off. And that's going to be an issue. It's going to be a problem. But no matter what, like you said, there's always a little bit of that extra when we have some history here. And I know for Razorback fans, it would be nice to have a little bit of an extra dig at Texas Tech after all those years in the Southwest Conference, and also just one more after playing them recently in the postseason. So an interesting dynamic. It's just a rehash of old wounds, I guess.
Here's an interesting stat. I know we all love interesting stats here on the Morning Rush. This is from Jackson Collier with Hogbeat. Fun bit of research. Outside of outside of Houston, all of Texas Tech's losses were to teams that had an average height of 77.4 inches or taller. The Red Raiders have an average height of 76.5. Arkansas's average height is 78.7. So that goes back to, I think, what Pat Smith was talking about earlier, just the length that Arkansas has and that brings in on a regular basis. Colton, I think you mentioned it. Like, think about just Carter Knox, Billy Richmond, what DJ. I don't realize how long John L is until I'm actually courtside with him. I mean, Boogie's the smallest guy on the team, but I mean that's one of the things that Cal has at his possession, his arsenal, is just a lot of guys that can guard positions 1 through 3, 1 through 4 at times.
Yeah, and you know what? That's one of those things that you also can't teach. You can't teach just being long and lanky and having height. I think, Ty, you ever play any NBA 2K where you create your own player, you can make their arms a different length and things like that? When you make their arms longer, it decreases their ability to shoot. So we've seen that this year. This is not a team full of just, guys that are shooting the cover off the ball, but you can learn how to shoot. You can learn to be a better shooter. You can't learn how to be 6'5" with a 7-foot wingspan, and that's extremely valuable. And one of the reasons why the Razorbacks have been so good on defense this year, interrupting the passing lanes, tips and steals, and then the athleticism to get out and transition with a highlight finish. It's reminiscent of a lot of great Razorback teams that these fans have fallen in love with.
Yep, and you just got a chance to, as Cal said yesterday, be in the ring.
And you got to get in. And we bees in the ring. And let's see what happens.
The Italian's coming out of it.
I'm Italian. I'm loud. I'm not going to sit, hi, you're okay. Just, I get aggressive. I can't help myself.
Yeah, you're from Western Pennsylvania and you're Italian. We understand completely.
I was cracking up yesterday. Some good tidbits in there. It's about 20 minutes. Hey, this morning we are brought to you by Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas. They've got the NWA RV show coming up, an outdoor party April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Nukes. This features two of the best RV dealers in the state, Wheels and Moix, with brands like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Canalita Vibe, and Winnebago, plus on-site financing available. There's going to be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So plan to attend the Northwest Arkansas RV show and outdoor party April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers. What are you snickering at in studio?
Just Joe and Van Buren, he asked on the text line here, do you think Muss will be in the bleachers tomorrow night to support his former Razorbacks? That's a good question. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with no. I could be wrong on that. Maybe he comes to see Trevin. Maybe we see a picture before the game of Muss with Trevin Brazil, which would be so funny. But I'm gonna guess no. I will say before that's a good. I'm glad you read that text because a lot of people thought that Arkansas, Bud Walton 2.0, or a new arena, whatever was going to happen, was going to look a lot like the Chase Center. Muss had apparently gotten some guys and gals to look at the designs, and the Chase Center is one of the best arenas in the country. And the good thing about it, Colton, is you're not playing in Lucas Oil in half their so here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by our friends at Richard's Country Meat Market, it is so funny to see fans in the Midwest that are complaining, and I get it because I was there, and it's not as fun when you play in a field house. And listen, we're not going to complain if Arkansas is in the Final Four next week in the Alamo Dome. We just want to be there. But like watching games inside of football stadiums stinks. I think we can all agree on that. And that game is not being played at Gainbridge Fieldhouse where the Pacers play. It's played in Lucas Oil where the Colts play. And so there's a lot of people beefing with that, Colton.
And I understand their gripe because it's totally different. Those stadiums are set up, they're built architecturally for the angles of whatever sport they're actually made for. It's an aesthetic nightmare. It's no good. You know what would be a better option than this? Cram those people into one of those cracker boxes somewhere in French Lick, Indiana or something like that, and just have the players and coaches and families and get cameras in there. That would be better than showing 30 or 40 or 50,000 empty seats in the upper part of a stadium, weird camera angles. And then if you're a fan, it's absolutely different because you're having to watch the game from a totally different part of the stadium if you're actually at the game. I get the gripe and I get the complaint. It may look a little bit better on TV here or there, but surely there could have been some other arena available, and I don't know. I don't make those decisions. I just watch the games, but it would have looked better on, in a basketball arena. They don't play baseball games in football stadiums anymore, do they? They shouldn't.
No, and even in the largest college baseball weekend of the year, Omaha, Nebraska is in a baseball stadium, not a football stadium. So I understand people's frustrations when it comes to that. Another beef of mine here this morning. This is the anniversary of the 1979 Michigan State, Indiana State national championship game. Still the highest rated televised college basketball game in history. And you say, Ty, why is that your beef? Well, Arkansas got screwed in the Elite Eight with some no calls, and that is why it's a beef, because Larry Bird actually met Magic Johnson in that game. They ended up losing 75-64. Best rivalry of sports, never will be topped between Magic and Bird. But it never should have started in college. It should have started when the Lakers and the Celtics. Hawes got screwed by the refs. I can say that. Tommy's not here to push back. And, yeah, that is a beef that all these years later, it's still a thing, and Arkansas should have been there. And that should have been Eddie Sutton's, I guess they win in 70. Yeah, that should have been his second Final Four, back-to-back Final Fours.
Ty, my beef this morning, right now as we hear the birds begin to chirp early in the morning and it gets a little bit warmer, you may find yourself on the golf course more. It's about that time of year, isn't it? About that time for the Masters coming up here in just a couple weekends from now. And I'm not a big golf aficionado. I know one of the big, litmus tests for a golfer is once you finally break 90, you're considered to be, a decent or whatnot golfer. I'm probably 40 strokes away from that. So that's my whole, I'm not very good at golf, but I do know that the Masters is an extremely important, extremely elegant, and extremely classy, timeless tradition of both golf and broadcast television. And they often do it with, great voices, and they have flashbacks, and one of those they always use is Georgia on My Mind from Ray Charles. It's absolute classic. You've heard it. You all heard it. They fade into the azaleas right there, do all this stuff. It's beautiful. They changed it this year. They changed it. They took out the Ray Charles version for some dude named Noah Kahan or Khan. Am I in an elevator? Am I going to shop right now for a bra at Lululemon? What is this, Ty? That's my beef this morning. They have ruined the Masters Georgia on My Mind commercial.
Usually I ask you to Usually I ask you to turn it up. In this case, I want you to turn it down.
Terrible.
Oh. I understand why that's a beef here this morning. I don't like that at all. I'm 100% with you on that. All right, we got our SEC update when we come back. We're live from San Francisco, California this morning at the Marriott Marquis. We'll be in the Chase Center later on. Hey, big news at Butler Furniture. It is their spring sale right now. Truckloads of new styles have arrived at Butler Furniture. Every item in Butler's huge inventory is on sale. Butler's has been reducing prices, every item for every room, in your home. Stop by today, and you can shop at it all. Special spring savings and a special spring credit offer. You get 18 months with no interest financing with no money down. There's still time to save. These incredible savings end this Saturday. So shop the final week of the spring sale at Butler Furniture on Highway 5 North, past Hospital Drive in Mountain Home. One more time, Butler Furniture on Highway 5 North, past Hospital Drive in Mountain Home. And remember, it's better at Butler's. We return with your SEC update next.
We're live in San Francisco this week at the NCAA tournament. Our coverage is presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price. By Big Cypress Lodge. Visit big-cypress.com to plan your next Memphis getaway. By Ward & Son Plumbing in Northwest Arkansas, serving all your plumbing needs. No marketing shenanigans, fair pricing with a warranty above and beyond the competition throughout Arkansas.
Arkansas is headed to the Sweet 16. Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
It's tournament time again, and the Hogs are still dancing.
We have you covered for the watch parties you'll be hosting or attending.
From the Nike team shirts to the Sweet 16 tees, we have what you're looking for.
Clothing items from Cutter and Buck, Nike, Champion, and Tommy Bahama. We have what you'll want.
We have Razorback tablecloths, pennants, and banners. We even have a Razorback floor runner that looks like a basketball court. Hey, Matt, did I tell you where I keep all my dad jokes?
No, Dad, where?
In my new Dada base.
He's getting worse by the week.
Anyway, the Stadium Shop on Razorback has everything you need to root dog in the tournament.
And if you can't get by the store, which is located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baumwalker Stadium, you can find us on the interweb Insta.
Dad, let me do that before you pull some kind of brain muscle. He's talking about our website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
All at the only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Don't forget, largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Marital relations.
Turn his mic back on.
This is the Morning Rush.
Save up to $5,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith, or online at harryrobinson.com.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. How about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Are you a middle-aged man feeling low on energy, struggling with weight gain, a decreased libido, or even battling depression? You don't have to feel this way any longer. Hi, this is Stephen Pittman, a licensed nurse practitioner and expert on testosterone replacement therapy. At Pittman TRT in Fort Smith, our priority is to restore your vitality and energy the way you felt in your 20s. No need to drive an hour or more. Call or text Pittman TRT today at 479-274-1747. That's 479-274-1747. Pittman TRT. Get back to feeling like your old self again.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844. The Newmeyer family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. This is the best time of year to save on a great selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus, act now and take advantage of $1,000 cash your way on select inventory for even more savings. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook for fun-free contests and money-saving specials. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources in the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas. SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight.
We're about the tough there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hogs are finally holds the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
Will say I am dumb.
No, you need to go a step further.
September.
No, 4 words. You need to say this. I want you to look into the camera. Wow. Let's get an ISO on him. ISO on Tim. You need to say it for the Ole Miss fans. You need to say it. And you know you need to say it. You need to say those 4 words to resolve and absolve yourself.
I am a fraud.
This is my favorite time of year. This is the I told you so time of year, like Chris Beard. Where's Tim Doyle? That was CBS college basketball analyst Tim Doyle after he was highly critical of Ole Miss, calling them a fraud heading into that game. They proved their worth, not just in their first-round game, Colton Bid against Iowa State, and have moved on to the Sweet 16, where 7 other teams, I say 7, 6 other teams, 7 total in the Southeastern Conference, have games this week, including Kentucky and Tennessee. The only SEC matchup we have in the Sweet 16 might have some of the Elite 8 coming up.
Yeah, Chris Beard and Ole Miss. It's been a great season for them as well. And, you hear him talking there about where's Tim Doyle. He's got a reason to talk. Ole Miss is not a basketball school. They probably had not invested half as what you have in their NIL, to be honest with you. And he's done that because of the fact that he's a great basketball coach. Everywhere he's gone, he's been a winner. What he may do outside of that is beside, but he's a good basketball coach. You cannot deny that. And he's got Ole Miss winning right now, which is something they haven't done consistently in a really long time. And I know he had some interviews lined up, as all the coaches that are in the Sweet 16 are doing right now, doing media appearances. One of them, I think one of the interviewers asked him if he had any plans to leave, and he said he was very comfortable in Oxford. So we'll probably be seeing some battles between Cal and Chris Beard for a long time. But you mentioned it right there. That Sweet 16 matchup, Kentucky and Tennessee, that is going to be juicy. I'll definitely be sure to watch that one.
Yeah, it is tasty. Big news in the Southeastern Conference this week. Cal shared it yesterday.
Adu Fierro is available.
Adu. coming back for this game tomorrow night. Share that on the Pat McAfee Show. That's not just big news for Arkansas, but for the SEC. Arkansas could potentially take on Florida if they win this game tomorrow night. But that, again, is the biggest news.
And
Maybe
Florida
in the
wins.
Yeah, and Florida wins. That's the biggest news-wise in the Southwest Conference. As far as the games go featuring SEC teams, Arkansas plays Tech tomorrow at 9:09 Eastern. Florida takes on Maryland at 6:39 Eastern on Friday. State takes on Ole Miss, what you were just talking about. Kentucky takes on Tennessee, and then Auburn against Michigan. We'll see what comes out of those games. All right, that is your SEC update this morning. It's brought to you by our friends at Wrap Auto Resources. We were talking with Larry a little bit about the Road Ready certified vehicles yesterday, and they go through the Meineke Car Care Center in both Springdale and in Fort Smith. You don't often hear about pre-owned vehicles being certified like these are. Like, for example, I bought my grandpa's car, and it ended up costing me $5 or $6 grand after I bought it for $5 or $6 grand to begin with. So you don't want those issues. You don't want those hassles. Well, and you say, well, Ty, how do I know this for a fact? Well, just go to both their Google reviews page. I mean, Rath Auto Resources is a 4.8, Rath Mitsubishi is a 4.7. They care about what they do each and every day. I mean, it's a father-son thing. David evidently liked it so much he followed in his father's footsteps. And again, two great teams in both fans. It's really one great team, both in Springdale and in Fort Smith. Rath Auto Resources has a 4.8 on Google reviews, and Rath Mitsubishi has a 4.7. Larry labeled them as an underdog yesterday, kind of like the Hogs. So, again, if you're in the market for a first-time vehicle or you're looking for an SUV like the Outlander, then you can stop by and see them in both Fort Smith and in Springdale as well. You can also check them out online. Now, it is a What's Your Beef Wednesday brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market. Here is Tom Izzo on his beef.
We have some versatility. We can go big and go small. And yet that, too, takes work that I have to do every night instead of being in the urinal or portal. So that, too, takes work.
He's kind of looking at this different, Colton. He is not worrying about portal transfers or anything else until after postseason, which a lot of coaches are kind of having to balance both right now. I thought that was an interesting approach by Izzo.
Yeah, and luckily, you'd think that Michigan State and, storied basketball, kind of a school like he talked about, Magic Johnson earlier and Bird, and, Michigan State's been a big basketball program for a while. So at this point, as long as it's been around, you'd think that there's probably 2 or 3 guys on that Spartan staff that are just devoted right now, that are in a dark room somewhere going over, going over film from everybody in the portal.
He might not be on it, but
yeah,
he might have.
There's definitely somebody on it. And I'm sure that it's the same for most of these big-time head coaches. They're probably not spending a majority of their time watching other college players right now because they have to prepare for what's in front of them. For Calipari, right now it's obviously Texas Tech, and then Tom Izzo's got a pretty big task ahead of him too. And the post game after his last win, I saw when they said that he didn't know that Ole Miss won, he seemed a little anxious about it. So he's got his work cut out for him, and I know that the portal, for a lot of these guys that were 50 years of coaching, they just, a transfer, they had to sit out for a year, so they just bury him at the end of the bench and don't worry about him. Now it can make or break your season if you have too much or too many, so it's a slippery slope now, but Izzo, he's not worried about that. It is the urinal as far as he's concerned.
Yeah, so I will keep texting your beefs in here this morning. Hey, Gaston's White River Resort, great place to go hang out with the family, with friends, go fishing. The White River is not just a legendary part of our state, but I mean people from all over know about it. When I went up to Bozeman, Montana, people knew about the legendary White River. Take advantage of this awesome place in our own backyard. Call Clint Jacob and their team, 870-431-5202. Cabins, lodging, fully equipped kitchen, and a great restaurant as well. 431-5202, or you can go online, Gastons.com. Love their Facebook page, seeing the pictures, seeing the videos. They do a great job. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time. Every time.
What's Your Beef Wednesday is brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. Online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
It's
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Taco Bell's new caliente sauce made with red jalapenos is the spicy side of Cantina chicken. But does that mean everything has a spicy side? Like your cactus plant. It's like your other plants, but spicy. Or your coworker who says they hate everyone who works here, but you work here. Or when you say, I don't mean to be rude, but you do mean to be rude. But now you can feed your spicy side with Caliente Cantina chicken from Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
Looking for a way to get your favorite lures from Pradco at the click of a button? Learner.com not only has brands such as Rebel, Yum, Booyah, and more, but the site includes exclusive deals and baits you won't find anywhere else for your favorite brands. We have free shipping for all U.S. orders over $35, so be sure to treat your favorite fishing buddy or yourself to some new tackle box treasures. Check out Learner.com today.
Morning rush vibes that keep you on your toes. From 9 to 11, every day the magic flows.
Up to $10,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off. Or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV. With hands-free driving assistance, go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $800 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Metal Mart offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shop, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by 7320 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith or call 648-3342. You can also catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
Ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Take your dining to a whole new level at Blue Point Seafood and Steak Restaurant. You'll find the finest cuts of steak and the freshest seafood in an amazing atmosphere. Blue Point Seafood and Steak Restaurant is at Chaffee Crossing, across from the Arkansas Colleges of Health Education on Chad Colley Drive. When your night deserves the best, call 597-4081 for reservations or book online at Toast. Blue Point Seafood and Steak Restaurant, your destination for not only great food, but an amazing experience.
Big changes are coming. In order to serve you better, Metters Lumber is joining Ace Hardware. We will remain locally owned and operated so you can expect the same great service, but with lower pricing and better selection. We'll have exciting new brands to serve more of your needs. Come by and check out our deeply discounted merchandise as we make room for new products at Metters Lumber Company in Alma, Ozark in Clarksville.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. This is the best time of year to save on a great selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus, act now and take advantage of $1,000 cash your way on select inventory for even more savings. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook for fun-free contests and money-saving specials. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources in the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
It was something that we just pride ourselves at going to the tournament.
Struck by Beck. Hawkins a freebie. Nice move by Hawkins to finish it. What an athletic move.
Back in the morning rush. We're live in San Francisco, California, getting ready for this game tomorrow night in the Chase Center. Heard a few highlights here at Coach Richardson there as Arkansas gearing up for this game tomorrow. Coach Richardson actually met with the team, and one of the guys that played for him, Darryl Hawkins, going to join us momentarily. We're brought to you this morning by Sassy's Barbecue in Fayetteville. You got Sassy's Red House, best patio, not just in NWA, but I would argue in the state, and Sassy's Barbecue and Grill. They've got the wings, they've got the ribs. I really like their really everything that they have there, but their pork belly burnt-ins that they have on Monday and Friday special. I don't know what Alan puts in those, but they are fantastic. You can always order online at sassysbarbecue.com. Don't forget about happy hour 3 to 6. I know Alan and his team had a lot of fun with live with Coach Cal this season, and it is a great place to watch NCAA tournament games, college baseball games, whatever you're in the mood for. Food-wise, you're going to find it at Sassy's, and again, a great place to watch all the games as well. Hawk, you ready for this game tomorrow night, man? Duthero's back. What are we thinking heading to this one against Texas Tech, an old Southwest Conference rival that you're used to playing?
Ty, what's going on, man? Oh, I'm ready for the game, man. I've been wearing my Arkansas stuff all week, So, but hey, man, I've been listening to your show this morning, man. I don't know who that Eddie fellow is y'all got calling. That dude is lit. He is ready, man.
He is. He's a big fan of what you and your teammates were able to accomplish. He's been a Razorback fan, I think, since the 70s, if I remember that right. And he kind of sums up Arkansas fans, doesn't he, Darryl? Like, just diehards, one team, one goal. And I mean, whether it's football season, baseball season, we're in basketball season now. But I mean, this is our sole focus in the state, isn't it?
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it, man. Just real happy for the guys, proud for Coach Cal, and proud that, you're getting Thero back and everything, but, just don't want to, don't ever want to just, don't want to put too much pressure on that kid, just like, when we had Boogie come back, and I think, he knows what's going on. I think Boogie stepped in after missing those games, and, I think I heard Cal talk to him, he said, hey, look, Coach, I just want to come in and fit in and do what I need to do. And I think that's the mindset that you have of these guys. And so, with Thero coming back, I mean, he knows what he's got to do and come in there. So just come in and mesh in with what, what Brazil's been doing, what Adu's been doing. DJ's been playing some great ball. And, I can't speak enough on what the young kid has done. Billy Richmond played an outstanding game against St. John's. I mean, what that kid did, I think he really helped us out in getting where we need to be last week.
Darryl, on that subject, one of the things Billy said was talking about the sacrificing egos a little bit. He's a true freshman. He's used to scoring the most points on his team and everything else, and he's been more of the glue guys. How difficult is that when you come on a team, you're used to being the alpha? I mean, you're a guy that was a real team guy, averaged double-digit figures. At times, you probably could average more if you were on a lesser team, but you chose to play along with some great teammates. I mean, what does that take mentally, and what does that take just to be a team member back when you guys did and what this team's doing right now?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, we came up there, to celebrate the reunion, and that was, I believe, a conversation I had with the guys. I think Todd had a conversation with the guys about like that. And, what Cal and that coaching staff have done to get them to where they're supposed to be. You know, sometimes, you know, you can hear a voice from someone who's been in your shoes, because there wasn't anybody on that team that didn't average, you know, 30 and 15 or 28 and 12 or something coming out of high school. And we just kind of told them, say, hey, look, man, you guys got to play for each other. You know, no disrespect to the great fans of Arkansas or anybody else. Y'all got to play for each other, and whatever it takes. You know, one day it may be Brazil's night. One day it may be Janelle's night. Because, you know, I pulled him to the side and talked to him a lot, and I was like, look, man, some days you're going to have to be that cat that was in high school. And then some days you got to be that cat that's on this team that's going to be contribute by getting 3 or 4 rebounds and assists and playing good defense. So I really love the way they've been playing these last, you know, 10 games. I mean, I'm just really excited about what they're doing. I'm excited about what Cal and the staff have done to get these guys on the same page.
Hawk, one of the things I've been really impressed about John L. Davis is even when his shooting wasn't happening early on in the season, his defense was there, his rebounding was there. And I know for some guys, when they aren't hitting shots, they're not engaged on the other end. Did you notice that same thing?
Well, yeah, I noticed. That's kind of why I pulled him to the side and said something to him when I was up there, because, you know, being in that situation, you know, you think, well, if I'm not scoring, I'm not contributing. And that's just not true, because, you know, nobody talks about when they're comparing teams against playing each other, you know, this guy's averaging this many points, this guy's averaging that many points. You know, when I look at it, this is a really even matchup. When we're looking at it, you know, we're both, I think Texas Tech has a little edge with the 3-point shooting at 37%. We're about at 33%. When we look at the rebounds per game, we're both pretty much knotted out at 35 a game, 36 a game. The turnovers, 11 a game. We get 5 blocks a game. They get 3. But I really believe that the edge is going to come with this is, no disrespect to the Texas Tech coaching staff. They've done an amazing job. But Cal's been there before. And when we were up there in October, he basically was preparing the guys for the big moment, but in present time. And what I mean by that is, you got a lot of guys who were injured in October. And he was getting ready to go play a red and white game. And he kept talking about, hey, we got to do this. You guys got to do that. And once we get this guy back, once we get that guy back. But you have to do the work to prepare for April and March. He did the work back in October. Those guys were doing the work. Even though they weren't maybe out there playing, they were all doing the work back in October and November to be prepared for the moment now in March and April. And that's just kind of how I think you need to look at life as well.
Daryl Hawkins, our guest, former Razorback, part of that 1990 Final Four team, here with us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Hawk, I didn't realize that Cal was 12-3 in Sweet 16 games, and that was revealed to us yesterday with him talking on the McAfee show. I think one of the other things, and I know you appreciate this about John Calipari and your former coach and Coach Richardson, is that like he makes sure he's part of the fold. And like people want to pile on Muss for everything. Like Muss brought guys back. He did stuff. But I think for your team, and particularly Coach Richardson, like he calls him after the game. He wants him to speak to the team after the game. As a former Coach Richardson player and a guy that really helped jumpstart that Final Four team and his tenure, I mean, how nice is that to see your former coach still in the spotlight with Arkansas basketball all these years later?
Oh, it means a lot to everybody. I mean, you know, we've always wanted to be a part of what's going on, and in more ways than one. You know, we've always rooted from afar, but you know, we've had some great coaches that have come through at the time, and you know, him bringing back Coach Richardson, it kind of just, and he was very emphatic about doing that. Some people do it as a rite of passage because of all the great things the coach has done, and more of a face show. Cal's not that. He is not that. He is genuine to the core. And it's no secret that you've had some former Razorbacks that have wanted to be a part of what's going on there on the staff as well. You know, it's no secret. I've wanted to be a part of it. It's no secret Todd's been wanting to be a part of it. But I'll be honest to tell you that, you know, you feel a lot better now about some of those possibilities because Coach Cal is there and because he generally cares about the history and bridging that to what the future is going on with this team. And I just think, you know, you said earlier that we had a good season. We have had a great season, Ty. That's no disrespect to what you're doing. Making the Sweet 16, one of the top 16 teams in the country right now, after having 7 players at one time, 8 players at one time. Now we got everybody kicking it. We've had a great season. It can be an amazing season if we take care of business tomorrow night.
I love it. I love it. Well, that's the closing music. Hawk, I appreciate you joining us this morning. I'm excited for tomorrow night as you are. Oh, Southwest Conference foes going at it again, 9:09 Central Time on TBS. Hawk, appreciate you joining us this morning, man. Really good stuff, especially that end part on Coach Richardson. It's cool to see this relationship to this day with Cal and Coach.
Hey, talk to you later. Hey, Ty, if we get to San Antonio, man, I got you, baby.
I'll see you there. That's it. That's a guy. And how far are you of a drive from San Antonio, Hawk?
Man, I'm 2 hours away, baby.
Okay, easy drive. Daryl Hawkins, former Razorback, here with us on the Morning Rush. Good conversation. I thought how he again at the very end there. It is a great season. That could be an amazing season. He's right. Win this game tomorrow. Maybe you win one on Saturday. We'll see how it ends up. It's been a good show this morning. Hey, if you're not making the trip out west, which I know a lot of you aren't, great place to watch the game this weekend is at Oaklawn. Always a good time to hang out because you think about you've got Arkansas Derby week, you've got the sports book. You can always bet on the racing on Oaklawn anywhere. You can bet at Oaklawn itself, and you can download the Oaklawn Sports Book app, where whether you want to bet on Arkansas this weekend, you want to bet on the Gators, whatever else, new customers can earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Once you deposit, you're going to be automatically enrolled in the enrollment, and there's a 10% profit boost on qualifying 3-leg parlays. Check it all out on the Oaklawn Sports app. And again, this weekend, Arkansas Derby at Oaklawn. I've got a bunch of friends going. I know a lot of our listeners will make their way down to Hot Springs for one of the best weekends of the year at Oaklawn. We've gotten plenty of beefs this morning here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market. If you're looking for that classic Southern shrimp boil, you're going to find everything you need at Richard's. Just give them a call, 479-443-0000. It's been a great show. Colton Little, awesome job as always, buddy. Ty Richardson live in San Francisco. Updates from Cal and Platers on our social media, and we'll be back tomorrow live from the what do we call it again, Colton?
Tenderloin.
Rebel Crawfish has been a tackle box staple, but now get ready for the next generation. Introducing the all-new Rebel Matte series of Rebel Crawfish. 4 all-new Ultra Matte colors that eliminate glare.